Hello guys, this is real. The latest Kentucky news is sensational. John Calipari and Arkansas were cut for Caleb Wilson. Now is Kentucky a great candidate? What do you think? Before continuing with the news, subscribe to the channel and continue receiving more news from the Cats. And with Caleb Wilson's decision to narrow his options to 5 institutions, and the Kentucky Wildcats remain firmly in the race for the talented power forward, the Arkansas Razorbacks' exclusion marks a strategic relief for Mark Pope and his coaching staff, who now focus their efforts on beating out competition from Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio State, and UCF. Wilson, widely considered one of the best talents in the class of 2025, carries with him not only physical and technical attributes that make him a central piece for any program, but also a mentality that has attracted close attention. With unusual maturity for his age, he has made it clear that the money offered by nil deals will not be the primary factor in his decision, prioritizing instead alignment with personal values and development under a leadership that inspires him. I'm a guy who believes in God, and I hope that He guides me to make a decision that is best for me, Wilson said in an interview with KSR. That balanced approach reinforces the appeal of solid programs like Kentucky, which not only offers a winning tradition but also an environment in which players can grow as athletes and people. For the Wildcats, the possibility of adding Wilson would be a strategic move that would elevate the 2025 class to a nearly unbeatable level. With Jasper Johnson, an elite guard in the top 15 in the country, already committed and a solid base of 4-star recruits, Wilson would represent a turning point. His versatility as a power forward, combined with a refined touch around the basket and a growing ability to play in quick transitions, fits perfectly with the style of play that Mark Pope is looking to implement in Lexington. Another intriguing aspect is Wilson's decision timetable, which speaks to the strategic acumen of the player and his team. He will opt to wait a little longer into the college season to see how the teams on his roster respond to challenges and how the coaches lead their teams. For Kentucky, this presents a golden opportunity. The program has already opened the season with high expectations, and Pope's ability to turn potential into results will be put to the test on college basketball's most visible stage. With a team that combines experience and youth, the Wildcats have every chance of impressing. The fact that John Calipari, now at Arkansas, has been cut from Wilson's radar can be seen as a positive sign for Kentucky. While Calipari is known as a formidable recruiter, Wilson seems to have recognized something that other talents recognize: Kentucky's system and its recent history of developing players as an interesting differentiator. For Wildcats fans, this news is yet another reminder of the solid work Pope and his staff have done to keep Kentucky at the top of the recruiting ladder. Adding Wilson would put the program in an even better position to not only compete, but dominate in the near future. Wilson's patience gives Kentucky plenty of time to prove that this is the place to maximize its potential. Now, the season is not only a race for titles, but also a stage to convince one of the most sought-after talents in the country to don the blue and white. Let's get to it. The Kentucky Wildcats' leadership transition continues to generate heated conversations, especially after their recent emphatic win over Duke. The recently arrived Mark Pope now appears to be winning hearts and minds, especially that of athletic director Mitch Barnhart. On Saturday, Barnhart not only praised Pope for his balanced approach to recruiting and managing the program, but also hinted at a veiled dig at his predecessor John Calipari by emphasizing the importance of evaluation beyond the simple act of recruiting talent. Central to Barnhart's remarks was Pope's ability to find players who not only possess technical skills, but also fit the spirit and needs of the program. That thoughtful approach is already paying off. With the class of 2025 already featuring 5-star point guard Jasper Johnson and promising prospects Malachi Moreno and Acaden Lewis, Pope has the opportunity to further bolster the team with Caleb Wilson, an elite small forward whose decision is reportedly pending. Barnhart stressed that in an increasingly competitive college basketball landscape affected by the NIL, success lies in creating cohesion quickly, something Pope has done masterfully. I tell people all the time, anyone can recruit, but not everyone can evaluate, Barnhart said. That observation, while complimentary of the current coach, also seems to cast a shadow over the Calipari era. During his final years at Kentucky, Calipari faced criticism precisely for his difficulty in transforming exceptional recruiting classes into cohesive, competitive teams, culminating in a tumultuous departure, to say the least. Now at the helm of Arkansas, he doesn't appear to be on Barnhart's radar as an example of ideal management. Pope, on the other hand, has seized the opportunity to build a new identity for the program, balancing tradition with modernity. His ability to handle early pressure, leverage the enthusiasm of the fan base, and integrate the challenges of the NIL, as Barnhart pointed out, are reflections of a coach who understands the historic moment in college basketball. Another notable point in Barnhart's remarks was his emphasis on critical mass in the current environment. In an era of rapid transfers and intense recruiting cycles, building a team that works together requires more than just an eye for stars in the rankings. It requires, above all, careful planning and the ability to create synergy in a short amount of time. Pope seems to have understood this, and the early results show a team that plays with energy, unity, and purpose. The contrast between Pope and Calipari goes beyond the court. The relationship between Barnhart and Pope thus far appears to be one of mutual trust, something that was lacking during Calipari's tenure. Barnhart's support, from the hiring to the locker room celebrations, reinforces the narrative that Kentucky is in a new chapter, with an administration aligned around clear goals. If Pope continues to build on this foundation and attract players who understand and embrace the Wildcats culture, the coming seasons could cement his position as the right coach at the right time. Barnhart's confidence in Pope has been more than justified so far. It remains to be seen whether the new coach can sustain this trajectory, but the promising start is enough to renew enthusiasm in Kentucky. Under Pope, the program seems to not only be back on the winning track, but also to be reclaiming its identity, something fans have been waiting for years. What do you think? Leave your comments.